Now, current ratio is current assets plus current liabilities. Quick ratio is current assets minus inventory over current liabilities, or current ratio minus inventory over current liabilities. So the current ratio is 1.2. Quick is 0.5. This implies inventory over current liabilities is 0.7. It has nothing to do whether or not firm uses credit to buy inventory. That's the only thing it says. Okay. Okay, let's copy this one too. Firm has a day's sales and inventory value of 46. This means the firm grants its customers 46 days to pay for their purchases. True or false? Anyone? Why?
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, even if
It doesn't make sense. It's not the reason.
well, the reason it would be like inventory value, I don't understand how that would relate to customers' purchase, like the amount of days customers purchase an item. So I would say false.
Here's a better answer. It is false because what's defined over there in this second sentence is days sales and receivables. That's why it's false. This is, oops, there's a difference. Receivables or average collection period, which has nothing to do with inventory. Again, don't take this personal. Whoever said that, I would have made the same comment. When you make an argument, try to think about them logically, okay? Just because what you said is correct doesn't mean that it's a valid argument. You should have a reason why it's false. I mean, I kind of stopped doing it for COVID reasons, but then I didn't go back to it. I used to have exams where all the questions were either true, false, or multiple choice. You got half the points for the correct answer, the other half for explaining why that answer had to be correct. I had explanations like these: because you said so in class. That is an entirely true statement and totally useless, because that is not the reason why it's correct. You gotta distinguish between knowledge and information. Things you can look up is information. I can look up, days sales and inventory. But when I give an answer to this, I have to say it is not correct because what's defined in the second sentence is not related to inventory. It would have been days sales and receivables. It's not terribly complicated, but I don't think they're making you make arguments anymore. When I used to teach MBA class, which I gave up because I would have decimated the MBA program had I continued, I either had to keep my standards or not teach the class. and I wasn't tenured at the time, decimating the MBA program was a way guaranteed not to be tenured. I actually made a somewhat controversial statement about some financial topic. Doesn't matter what it is. You were randomly assigned to argue either in favor or against it. It didn't matter what you believed in. Now, that's a different exercise. I mean, kind of lawyers do that all the time, but sometimes, if you're a consultant, you got to argue for stuff that your client wants, right? Or you're marketing something, you may not necessarily believe in the product, but they're paying you to sell that product. But when you're doing that, you got to be able to make logical arguments. Unfortunately, in this day and age of social media, where everything becomes an echo chamber, people stop thinking. I mean, I see it in my own political echo chamber as well as people I don't like. I gave up even on that. I mean, I have these dear friends from high school. I went to a military boarding school. The friendships that you make over there are for life. Sometimes they make an entirely bad argument. You just say, okay, in general, I agree with you, but here's how you're wrong. Man, you become the devil. Oh, you sold us out. No, I'm just thinking. Equity multiplier is equal to total equity divided by total assets. Right or wrong? Remember, equity multiplier is 1 plus that equity ratio. That is incorrect because, let me get this in. EM is 1 plus that equity ratio, which is 1 plus total liability over total equity, or total equity over total equity plus it's actually total assets over total equity, but it says it's the other way around. Okay. Okay, same question. That is correct. Oh, not net income. So false. Because the definition of times interest earned uses EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes, not net income. I made these test banks of 7 or 8 different editions in some other books. And I made a lot of true-false questions from single multiple choices as well. Typically, these have a total of over 1,000 questions per chapter, but they're somewhat related. Cash coverage ratio indicates how long a firm can pay its bills given its current cash balance. True or false? That's false because what's described over there is called the cash ratio. Cash coverage ratio has to do with interest expenses. So EBIT plus it's EBITDA over interest expense. So earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation divided by interest expense. Okay? It's gonna say true or false on this one.
True.
True, that's the definition of internal growth rate. The maximum growth you can achieve without any additional external financing. Okay, I know you hate these kinds of questions. But view these as 4 true-false questions. So figure out which ones are true. Which of the following will increase the sustainable growth rate of the firm? Let's copy these. Copy. Okay. If we remember, SGR is ROE times B divided by 1 minus ROE times B.